Hi there. Today I want to show you how I use VSCode to do all my machine learning work and how it has improved my productivity. I use VSCode dev containers, and I also use, of course, GitHub Copilot inside VSCode. And I just want to share with you how you can actually work in your local environment or work inside a Docker container or even work on a remote server in pretty much the same way. Okay, so here I have my VSCode open, okay? Currently I'm working on a project, Wave to Lib at 4K, okay? So one of the things I'm doing at this stage is to write code for pre-processing my videos, okay? Right now I'm starting small. So you can see here I have a notebook, okay? The problem with all these AI frameworks is that they all come with different dependencies, right? So every time you need to switch from one framework to the other, or from one model to the other, then you have like a whole new set of dependencies. Yes, of course, you have Conda, which is supposed to also help you with that, but I find that even if I use Conda environments, it's still a pain. So Docker is the way to go. But you know, when you're actually developing inside Docker, it can be quite awkward because you have to copy files between your Docker container and your computer. You can share folders, but you know, it would be nice if something did all that automatically for you. And that's what VSCode dev containers does for you. Okay, so I have here a few Docker files, okay, and I have a dev container.json. So what I normally do now is if I want to do something, for example, with the Reinaface, okay, let's say I want to run my algorithms for Reinaface, face cropping and so on, I will just switch this to Reinaface, okay, and then Dev Studio is going to ask me if I want to rebuild. If not, I can just do it anyway. So rebuild dev container, and you open the container. And everything inside the container, but it looks almost like you are in your local environment anyway. Okay. And I can show you also can run Jupyter notebooks. And it's like if I was in my own computer. I don't even have to install Jupyter notebooks. You can, and VSCode will be able to remotely connect to it. You can also, yeah, this is cool, right? So you can just run your functions, and you know, it already has ffmpeg installed. ffmpeg can be a pain to install. Everything's good. I know it will work because it's a Docker container which already has everything inside it. Okay, and you can see. Right, okay, this one, I don't know why it always does that, but I can just make it like this. Yeah, you can see. So I can run all these functions here. I can do also my face cropping with Reinaface. I'm not going to run it because I'm using the GPU for recording this video, so it will actually hang. I've tried it. Trust me, it will do that. But I'll show you actually some of the results I've got with Reinaface. So I have here a folder with some videos I extracted, and you can see it's doing my face cropping. Okay. So the second part of this, of course, I'm doing all this face cropping because I want to feed this into Vqgan, which is something I talked about in a previous video. If you haven't watched that video, go and check it out. In a Vqgan has an encoder and a decoder, which allows me to quantize the image, like to compress them, right? And then I can work in the quantized space, okay? So for that, I'm using another Docker file, which is Dockerfile Vqgan, okay? Right? Well, the Docker file here is still a little bit in a flow. I'm changing all the time. But if I want to change to that, I can go here and then change this to Vqgan. And then save it and then rebuild it. Okay. So everything is being done inside VSCode. And you know, that's kind of nice because you're always in the same interface, but there is also another good reason for me to do that. And the reason is because I can use GitHub Copilot. I run Vqgan. I have like my code here. I can run it from a terminal. I'm not going to run it now because obviously it's going to take my GPU away, but I can do all of my work here, and then all my results go into a generated folder, and I can actually show you some of the results I already have. And you know, epoch 1 like this, epoch 0 actually, and I only train all the way to epoch 5. Okay, but you can see already the results are improving. Actually, I went to 6 as well. Yeah, so this is so what this is showing actually is that these are the input images, right? The face crops are like 256 pixels square, and these are the real images, and these are the encoded images that Vqgan is able to decode, right? So we basically use Vqgan encoder to encode them to like a compressed image, and then from that compressed image we get this. Okay, the more I train it, the better results I'll get. Yeah, and then the idea is, instead of training wave to leap with real images, I'm going to train it with quantized image, which means that it's going to be much easier in terms of memory requirements. Okay, all of this is being done in a GPU which is a RTX 3070. Okay, so I can go into vast.ai. So let's say I want to use an RTX with 4 GPUs. I don't need that for this video. I'm going to just go with this one, $0.2 an hour. Okay, so I'm going to make a bid. Okay, I think so I'm going to go with PyTorch latest. You can see it's already available. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to be able to use VSCode, and I can just say add new SSH host. I paste it here, you know. All of this is being done in real time, by the way. Yeah, there's no magic. So I'm going to workspace. Open folder. Okay. I can start terminal. Okay. New terminal. So I'm going to copy this folder here. See, this has some code I have. Okay, I'm going to copy it here. Okay, so this will have my code. I have everything in place. I had to create a few folders, nothing big deal. So this is very quick. So I can actually start now training my Vqgan. Okay, and I'm going to be using a 1490. Okay, you can see it's working. It's doing the training. Okay, but actually, what I want to do, because I was running on my own GPU, which has only 8 GB of GPU memory, and this one actually has 24, I need to adjust the batch size. So I'm going to cancel it, and I'm going to run this again. Batch size is 2, I'm going to change that to 6. Okay, and I'm going to run this again. And you can see that it's already running. Okay, and we can see the results. In a very short amount of time, I was able to rent a GPU on the cloud. Yeah, and I can already train my model using a Docker. Yeah, and VS Code. I'm still using VS Code. I can still code here if I want to, although you have to remember to copy your changes back to your computer, right? Because you're still working on a remote server, so all these files are in a remote server. But it looks like it's local, right? So you wouldn't know unless I told you, right? And you can see it's very fast. It's just much faster than mine. So I can see already some results here. Let's see what is looking. Okay, so you can see. Okay, so epoch 0. So it's doing the training already as I speak. All right, I hope you you found this video useful and informative, right? and I hope you can improve your productivity too. You can do pretty much everything from VS Code. And I would say that it's really important that you try to do everything inside Docker files, because if you want to take your work to a production environment or onto the cloud, you'll have to use Docker files anyway. So might as well start early, right? Okay. And yeah, so if you like this video, don't forget to click the like button, and I'll see you again soon. Happy coding!